cable and everything.
Okay, this is Quinte boat docks. Cantilever dock system, hinge cantilever. It's in the winter position now. We're gonna put it in the summer position. All the cables are tight, everything looks good. We'll start by coming up to the rear anchorage winch. You've got your winch handle, and on this one you have two lines. This line is tight, so it's a load line. This line is loose, so it's a safety line. Sometimes these lines are the same tension. The best way to start is crank your dock up a little bit. Start by cranking your dock up, and one line will become loose. Sometimes you have two lines here. If both those lines stay tight, those are both load lines. The one that becomes loose is your safety. So start by undoing your safety. Sometimes they're tight and you need pliers. This time you don't. You can just kind of throw that out of the way now. You're now ready to lower the dock. So just crank the dock the other way. And it's going down. If it stops going down, there may be another safety. So look around for any cables that are tightening up as you're lowering. All right, it's now hit, and you can continue just lowering the mast right down. This is your dock tool. We're going to need that to release the legs. It's a 3/8 Allen key. You can get them at Canadian Tire or anywhere. A lot of times they end up at the bottom of the lake, or we can supply you with more. You'll need leveling winches to lower these legs next, and these will adjust the height of your leg and your trucker bar to operate the winches. So first thing I'm going to do is run out on the dock and release these cables. So these are the two cables that go back to the winch. And if you did your winterization properly, which is you'll do this clevis up finger tight and back a 1/4 inch. You won't need a wrench to undo them. You can just do them all finger tight still. So get rid of your winch cables so it makes walking easier. Now we're going to take our dock tool and release the hinge legs, or the closest to shore legs, down to shore. We had them up higher. That way ice didn't hit them and take the feet or bend the legs closest to shore. So that's why they were up.
Okay.
At this point you can knock this cap off. And just put them semi-tight. At this point you're going to want to release your two cable clevises that are attaching from your mast to these guys here, to the lugs on the first posts. You're going to need those for the leveling winches. Okay, take these guys out and throw them on top of your posts. Take the clevis on the bottom and hook them up to the lug directly below. And you only have to go in a couple threads with these. Now, latch it, and spin, take up the slack, as much as you can with your hand. Same thing with both. Okay. We're going to need the trucker bar to do the next step. What I'm trying to do here is remove the hinge locking bolt, which I'm going to show you in a second. Now I can loosen both set screws on the leg. So the winch has got the weight of the dock. So now these can operate up and down freely. Your hinge bolt that we're trying to remove, I'm going to show you, is located on the side of your dock right there. So this is what we're trying to remove, and we need to crank the dock up a bit and take pressure off of that bolt before we can spin it out. There's inside here. That's what we're trying to get out. So we'll take our trucker bar now. Into the winch and just lift. Now this part of the dock is coming up and taking pressure off of that bolt I just showed you. So get the dock to a height where you can spin both sides of that bolt freely. Sometimes that bolt's got bound over the winter and you'll need a ratchet to take it out. So this bolt here, now I can take this nut off and remove this locking bolt. This bolt must be in for the winter position to lock the dock straight. Does not need to be in once you've put these leg posts on. Now that those hinge bolts are out, you can use these leveling winches to raise and lower the dock to the height that you want. You only want to go about 6 inches at a time, or else you'll start bending leg posts. So if I go 6 inches here, then I have to tighten the set screws of the leg back up. 6 inches, tighten those up, move the leveling winches to the end of the dock, go down with the end of the dock 6 inches, tighten those up and come back and forth. Or you can purchase another set of leveling winches and do all 4 at the same time. If you just want to run back to shore for a sec. Got it? Put those bolts safe, you'll need them every year.
That's our tool, right?
So now you can lower the dock about 6 inches here, and you may have to jump on it a little bit because the leg posts sometimes can bind up. Just 1 or 2 clicks back and forth, making sure that you relock this latch every time before you take the bar out. You can see it sliding down the posts now. So once we get to the height we want to be at, or 6 inches, use your dock tool again. Just tighten the set screws on the side of the dock leg. So use your set screws on the side of the legs here. I think you can see that right here. Those are the set screws on the side of the leg post. Dock tool in, tighten them up. Almost as tight as you can get them. That leg's locked. This side's a little lower, so I'm going to go up a bit with this, a click or two. That feels about right. Looks about right. So same thing, lock this one in. Okay, once those 2 set screws are locked, you can now put your bar in here again, release this lock, and the dock will stay put. Now that that's loose, you can take this leveling winch off and repeat the same process with the posts at the end to level your entire dock. Okay, I've got the dock level now. Now you can start, well, you can remove your leveling winches from the dock, put them back in your shed. You can now remove your cables from the mast side. And usually we spool them up and put them in the shed too. You can leave them on the dock. However, they may interfere with your board sections if you don't tuck them away properly. As well as that does shorten the life expectancy of the cables if you leave them on your dock. So typically we undo them, roll them up, put some tape on them, and put them in the shed. So typically it's just one, maybe two clevises here. So just spin them up, and then if you got some black tape, be careful, there may be burrs on these things. Set of gloves is recommended. So keep your lefts and your rights separate, typically is what we do. Makes it easier to pull it up in the fall. If it hasn't been done, you can get color-coded tape and put color-coding tape on all of your connections and create diagrams if you wish to help with the fall. All right, now it's time to put board sections on. Typically they start from shore and work out to the end. This is not the case with all of our docks. Older systems would start on the end and work your way in. Couple different styles of dock locks. All of our newer systems have these slide locks. When you go to put your dock board section in, slide them to the inmost section. This one's number 1, shore side. I'm going to start with it. So it just goes down. You basically want to pull it up almost all the way, and then you want to lock these in. Sometimes they can get a little sticky, especially because wood warps. Those are locked in. Now I get number 2. These tabs that stick past the end are going to lock those dock locks in. So they slide behind it. Now these can't release. So this one, move them in, slide them in. Repeat all the way down the dock. Okay, some board sections, especially ones that begin by posts, this was the end of the ramp, will not have the dock lock. Instead, we'll be putting a screw here later. You just carry on. The next board section has the holes in it for the posts. Just carry on putting your board sections in when you get to these spots. We'll put the screws in last. Okay, on some docks, the woodworking is a little tight around the leg posts, and you'll find you won't be able to get your leg post board section in underneath the previous one that gets the screw. In this case, put the one with the leg post down first, and then you'll go back one section, and you'll get this section, drop it down, and this is the section with the screw again. Okay, at this point you put your board lock screws in. These are going to go everywhere where there was not dock locks to prevent the boards from lifting up. Most of the time it's a number 3 Phillips, not a number 2 Robbie, not a number 2 Phillips, or else you'll strip these. Sometimes it's a 3/8 Tech screw we use instead of these on some dock systems. Most dock systems, the screws will go in the middle of the last section that doesn't have locks. On some versions and models of our docks, we have 2, one on either side. So look for the previous screw hole, and that will tell you what spot it goes. So typically, by leg posts, there will be one, and on the very end, there will always be one, or 2. Okay, ladder's on, dock's done. You can put your post caps on now. You're done with the leveling tool. Basically now just clean up, put your tools away in your shed, and you're done. You're ready for summer.